it's not a constant condition, it's variable. You can be fine one moment and in critical life-saving status the next. And it's difficult to understand and interpret the conditions and the symptoms. So I come from this from a personal level. I actually have 8 anaphylactic allergies, and this is something that I have struggled since day one to try to live a normal life and one of quality. And about 4 months ago, I found myself sitting at the kitchen table, and I was scared. I was panicked. I was really concerned because I was sitting there trying to decide, am I just having a bad day? Is this asthma? Or am I dying? And I wasted critical minutes sitting there thinking, trying to interpret and decipher the signals that my body was giving me, and I could have been receiving care. Once I did decide that, yes, in fact, it was the 3rd case, I had 7 minutes before my throat closed and I could no longer breathe. So this is something that even from a quote-unquote experienced allergen user, it can be very, very difficult. And the time wasted in trying to decide what your body is currently doing is time that could be used to constrain the reaction and actually end up saving lives in the end run. Who is affected by this? Obviously, it's 55 million people in North America that have this condition, but it doesn't stop there. So with every single person that experiences this condition, it's their inner circle, and it's their mom, it's their dad, it's their college roommates that are affected directly by their condition. Indirectly, we have the education systems, the healthcare systems that are all adapting to serve those with allergies. How is this problem important? I think the short answer to this is very important. Everyone with this condition can easily say that this is a matter of life and death. However, you can see that it's a huge customer base, and again, the 55 million North Americans, if we break that down, that's 1 in 13 children in America that have a food allergy. To give you a kind of average, that's 2 in every classroom, and I think children are a great example because when you're trying to decipher what's going on in your body, it's hard to understand for the first couple of times, even the 6th time, and then it's hard to communicate. So really, there needs to be a system in place that allows people to understand what's going on and quickly make factual decisions about what they can do next. To give a little bit of background, again, we see that schools now have a banned list of foods. People are starting to adapt, and industries are becoming aware. $25 million are spent in the US alone on allergies every single year. And all the current solutions deal with the symptoms. So it's about what steroids can we give this patient to make them feel better, but there's nothing to address the patient themselves in their day-to-day life. And that's a real mistake. I think that 99% of a patient's life is not spent in the ER. It's spent living and trying to eat pizza and see what's out there. And that's something that is not accounted for. It's completely overlooked, and that's a huge mistake. Finally, the problem boundaries. So again, if a solution was implemented in this space, it would need to be easy to communicate. It's a complex problem, it's filled with medical mumbo-jumbo, and if we needed a quick and reliable way for people to understand their body, it needs to be easy, regardless if you're a 6-year-old or if you're a 60-year-old. And then it needs to be easy to actually help and seek that action. So I need to show someone my screen, show someone my histamine level, and actually see and have that translation communicated so people can take the right action. And then finally, it is a life and death condition, and it needs to be accurate and reliable. Overall, this problem is so important, and it's a massive overlooking in the allergy market. Something needs to be in place that can help people who actually live with this condition and actually see the world and have that improved quality of life so they're not constantly afraid.